Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do my final book haul of 2022. So these are all the books that I acquired in December, and it was kind of a big month, and not all from Christmas. Actually, mostly not from Christmas. Most of these I got either from the publishers, from Pango Books, or from Book of the Month. So there are a few I got for Christmas though. So let's start with those. So first, these are all from my parents. I got Shut Up and Run by Robin Arzón, which if you guys have been watching me for a little bit, you know that I've fallen deep down the Peloton rabbit hole. I got a Peloton back for my birthday this summer and didn't use it nearly as much as I wanted to until postpartum. I have dislocated my knee and broke my ankle, which makes like running and more high impact things impossible. And so I've been doing the bike, and I have fallen in love with so many of the instructors on Peloton, and Robin Arzón is probably my favorite. And this is her story, and it's so interesting. It's like how she got into running, and it is kind of like a how-to for running. So if you aren't a runner and you're just starting, this is good for that. It's also good for if you're wanting to do endurance running, like marathons, ultras, that kind of stuff. She has done that, and so she gives some practical advice about that. This is definitely pretty practical as far as advice goes, but it also interweaves her personal story and how she has kind of found confidence and just kind of found herself through running, and I loved it. So I read this and then asked for my own copy, and so that's what this is. On the same vein is Speak by Tunde. So it's find your voice, trust your gut, and get from where you are to where you want to be. And Tunde is another instructor who she is, her family is African, and the beauty standards are a lot different in her family. And so she never really thought anything was wrong with her body until somebody said like, hey, you're too big, you're too this, you're too that, you're, all of this stuff dogging on her body. And she decided to go and renovate her health. Basically, she interviewed to be a Peloton instructor and did not get it, and then now has since gotten it, and then she's one of the most well known. And her arms, they call them Tunde arms because she's just got like these arms that are amazing. And she said her arms are one of her biggest insecurities because they were always too big. And so I just love like the way she reframes things in this, and just again a really good book for finding your confidence, finding yourself, and also using fitness as a tool. So loved it. And that's the same. I read it and then needed my own copy. Next is Pages & Co. So my sweet mother got me the whole box set that comes in a box set, and then the newest one also. So I read the first one. I read Tilly and the Book Wanderers. And so this is about a little girl who discovers that characters are coming into her life. So her grandpa and grandma run a bookstore, and she starts seeing like Anna Green Gables walking into the bookstore. And then one day she wakes up and she is in the story. And so the first one follows mostly Anna Green Gables and Alice in Wonderland. But Tilly is her name, and she is a book wanderer. So what does that mean? It means that she can transport in and out of books. How did she get that power is something we start to learn in the first, but we'll continue to learn. And it's just so good. Like it almost gives me like Mr. Limoncello vibes, where it's like just a bookish. It's just so sweet and charming and bookish. And she's got a really good friend who his mother runs like a bakery across the street. And it's just so cute. I cannot wait to read more of those. So those are the books I got for Christmas. Now the rest are from publishers, Pango Books, or Book of the Month. So you guys, I've kind of stayed away from Pango Books, except some of my favorite YouTubers. I'm looking at you, Krista from Books and Jams, Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, I think Angie from Science Mama. Like, there's so many of my favorite booktubers that have Pango Books, and so I have decided to get on there and start shopping, just because I think it's so fun to like talk and swap books and that kind of stuff. So that I blame them. Can I blame them? I don't know. No, I can't. But the first couple are mass market paperbacks. So I did this in the size order. So the first are mass market paperbacks, which of course are romances from Forever Publishing. So thank you to Forever Publishing, and let's just get into it. Okay, the first is The Lilac House by Barbara. I'll just leave it up here so you can see because I have no idea how to say that last name. So this is about a widow and her 2 kids that go to the Lilac House. I don't know if it's a family house or what, but it's called the Lilac House in the Adirondack Mountains to help her aunt run a shop. So it's a small town romance. She meets a guy named Aiden, and it's their romance, but he has a secret of some sort that maybe ties to her husband's death. I'm not 100% sure. So this is just a tiny little thing. It's so cute. And let's see. I guess it's almost 300 pages, so it's not as tiny as it seems, but it seems pretty tiny. Next is the Marvelous Monroe Girls. So this is about 3 sisters, which I just love because I have 3 girls. And so I think it's interesting to read about like sister dynamics. And the number 3 like freaks me out a little bit because I've heard so many stories of one always getting left out or something like that. So this one is about Gabby. She's our main character, and her life is just a mess. And she finds a stash of letters in the attic or something that were her grandmother's, and kind of hints at a secret life that her grandmother maybe had. So she calls in her 2 sisters, and I think there's some issues in the relationships there. And so there's that. And then what's his name? Jake is the boy next door who's now all grown up, and so she's deciding, does she finally put herself first? What does she do? I don't know. It sounds like a good women's fiction romance. I'm not sure which it'll lean heavier towards, but I'm excited to try it. Next is Coming Home to Sugar Lake by Marina Adair. And this one is this gal, she finds out her fiance is cheating, so she goes back to a small town, opens her great aunt's house as like a vacation spot, and then it's her relationship with the bad boy contractor, I think. And he's a bad boy golfer, bad boy golf champion, Brett McGraw, which like that sounds like an oxymoron. I mean, I've never envisioned a bad boy golfer, but that sounds interesting. And so yeah, this also has Kiss Me at Sweetwater Springs or something by Annie Raines. Kiss Me at Sweetwater Springs by Annie Raines. So that's number 2.5 in her Sweetwater Springs series, and I have not read that, and I don't think I necessarily will. But it's a novella about a bookworm that is going to her high school reunion, and I think she like goes with a bad boy, and I don't know. Sounds fun. Both of these sound fun for just a light, easy romance. So, you guys know that I haven't been like in the biggest romance mood, but those like mass markets, they're all pretty small. And so maybe I'll get them picked up like in the spring when weather's starting to get warmer or starting to get more romancy, or maybe around Valentine's Day. Although I can get on a soapbox about Valentine's Day because I'm not a fan. But anyway, let's just move on. So next I have A Stranger in the House by Sherry LaPena. So this one is got like this buttery cover that I love so much. And Sherry LaPena is an author that I've really liked before. And that's the reason I bought it, because the synopsis is kind of vague. This woman gets a call that her husband has been in an accident like in a rough part of town. And I think our main character, Karen, she's a suspect. Like there's some suspicious things maybe. But she also thinks there's a stranger in her house and that somebody's like moving stuff and onto her, or like out for her, I guess. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know why she's a suspect. The police suspect that Karen was up to no good, and I don't really know why. So there's a lot of like vagueness that I'm not sure, but that's okay as long as I know I like the author. I'm going to give this a shot. Next is As She Fades by Abby Glines. So this one is a YA or new adult or something, and I'm not sure about this one, honestly. This is one I got from my mom, and this is about it's graduation night, like high school graduation, and this girl's boyfriend gets in a bad accident, and he is in a coma. So she's at the hospital all the time, like with him in his coma, and her brother's best friend or something is there with his uncle, who is also like fighting for his life. And I think it's kind of the relationship between them that forms, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I hope it's done tastefully. We'll see. This one's only 250 pages, and it's really short chapters, and I think it alternates perspectives. So I will definitely give this a read, but it could be something that is not great. I don't really know. Fingers crossed. Next is After Anna by Alex Lake. So I feel like I've heard a lot about this, but I'm not sure. And it says the real nightmare starts when her daughter is returned. So this is about a woman who her daughter is abducted, and a week later she comes back, but that's just like the start of things. She doesn't remember anything, I don't think. The police are at a loss. Her parents are beyond grief. Their daughter is lost forever, perhaps dead, perhaps enslaved. But the biggest mystery is yet to come. 1 week after she's abducted, she comes back. She has no memory of where she's been. And this, for her mother, is just the beginning of the nightmare. So this one, I have to be in the right headspace for, but I think it'll be good. And like, this is kind of like a buzzword cover for me. If you've got like a kid and a swing, why is it always a kid and a swing? I'm never leaving my kids anywhere near a swing, but because all the covers of thrillers are kids and swings that get kidnapped or something. But there's kind of a buzzword cover, so we'll see. Next is Carolyn Brown, Home of the Heart. So this one was formerly called, let me see, I wrote it down because it made me laugh, Wild Cowboy Ways. So if you guys don't know, I live in Kansas City. And just living in the Midwest, you see actual cowboys, especially small towns in Kansas. My husband is from a farm family, and like, not saying that like, whatever. In small towns, you see actual cowboys, and I don't get the like cowboy fantasy. I'm not into it, but so I don't know if I'll be into this one. But this one is about a woman who's had a bad breakup, a struggling business. Her sister just got engaged. Her grandma keeps wandering off. Like, things are just hard for her, and grandma wanders into this guy, and I think it's their relationship, and I don't know. It sounds fun. Yeah. Sounds fun. Complicated families, new neighbors, and fresh hope is what it says. So we'll see. Next is The Accidental Beauty Queen by Terry Wilson. So this is about a set of identical twin sisters. One is like an elementary school librarian, and one is a Instagram famous beauty queen. And the beauty queen gets sick or something, gets hives or something, and so the other one has to go pretend to be her. And I think that trope is just fun. And so yeah, we'll see if this is good. I've heard mixed things about this, and so yeah, these ones, a lot of these are ones I got from Sarah's Nightstand, and her and I generally have pretty similar tastes. She reads a lot more fantasy and stuff than I do, but like, of the books that we both pick up, we generally think similar, and so the fact that she unhauled all these makes me a little nervous, but we'll see. I'm glad to give them a shot. So next is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. So this is a debut that I cannot stop hearing about. And this is about a girl. Her name is Chloe, I think. Let me see. Yeah, Chloe Davis. So her dad, when she's 12 years old, her dad gets arrested and accused of being a serial killer for like 6 teenage girls. And now it's 20 years later or something, and she is a psychologist, and kind of copycat killings start to happen. So I don't know what's going on. That's all I really want to know. But I've heard nothing but praise for this. So I got it from Book of the Month, and why not go ahead and get her newest release too, All the Dangerous Things. So this one's about a son, a woman's toddler son goes missing, and like abducted from his crib, I think. I don't know. And she does not sleep for a year, except for like the occasional cat nap that her body like forces her to shut down. And so insomnia is getting her good. And I don't know, like, I think this is the perfect time for me to read this, because I have a 4-month-old, and she actually is a great sleeper. She's like the best sleeper ever, but she's medically complex and can only have breast milk in like little bits. And so I'm pumping to hopefully one day like actually breastfeed and whatever. That's not what you're here for, but I'm up all the time. And I've also got a 2 and a 4-year-old, and they are the problem with sleeping. Like, my 4-month-old sleeps like a charm. My 2-year-old less so. And so yeah, I'm up a lot. Insomnia is real. Insomnia, like psychosis, I don't know, but I don't know if that's what this is about or not, but sounds super interesting. And then last is one that I want to read this week, because you guys, I'm filming this on January 1st, and I don't know when you'll see it, but this is The Rewind, and this is a New Year's Eve story. And I dropped the ball on trying to get a digital copy or anything, and so I've only got this physically, which is fine, because I would love to read it physically, but insomnia, or not insomnia, but exhaustion. I don't know what the word is, but I'm really tired. So, like, sitting down to read this whole book would probably take me forever. And two, I've got 3 kids under 4, and chaos is always going on around me. So, I don't know that I'll physically read this week, but I really want to, because this is about 2 people who it's the year's 1999. They go back to a wedding, like at their college town or whatever. They're exes. They broke up 10 years ago, content to never talk to each other again, and then it's New Year's Eve. They're at this wedding. They don't want to talk to each other, whatever. But then the next morning they wake up and they're married. And what happened? Were they right? The first time? Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. Tonight they'll fall in love like it's 1999. So maybe it's 2009 and 1999. 2 exes wake up together with wedding bands on their fingers and no idea how they got there. They have just one New Year's Eve at the end of 1999 to figure it out in this big-hearted, nostalgic rom-com from best-selling author Alison Winscotch. So I really like Alison Winscotch. This sounds like a really cute premise, and I'm excited to read it, even if it's not this week. So that is everything that I hauled in December. You guys, I'm hoping for a smaller January, but it's okay if not, because I like getting books and it makes me happy, and having full shelves really warms my heart. And Pango Books is great because I love supporting like friends and fellow creators and just getting cheap books. And so, whatever. That's it. Let me know if you've read any of these, if I should prioritize some, or what your thoughts are, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.